Hello and welcome to another episode of Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists. And today we have on Matthew Mills, who managed to top a regional with none other than Invoked Mech Knight, and it's featuring some very interesting tech choices in it. So without further ado, let's get into this list. So triple Alistair, triple Ash, and triple Cyber Dragon making a major appearance here. Obviously the deck is largely going second, and that does mean you'll be able to take away things like your opponent's Salamangreat Link monsters, which is really crucial in that matchup, so that your Alistair doesn't get negated. Fewer hand traps, I think, relative to the sort of thing that we've seen previously, just 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, and 3 Phantasme. And to be honest, the way that I've been classifying Phantasme recently is not really so much as a hand trap. You know, it doesn't have that same kind of interaction, it just means that you see more of your cards than you would otherwise. So I definitely think it's worth playing. I just wouldn't really class it in the same kind of system as hand traps like Veiler and Ash Blossom. Some Kaiju in here, and then the usual Mech Knight lineup of triple blue, triple purple, and 1 Indigo Eclipse. This is actually probably slightly less than you might expect from an Invoked list. And then triple Sky Blaster. This was in the time when this was still at 3, but to be honest, moving forward, this is the only change you'll actually have to make to your deck, and it means that you can bring it closer to 40 anyway. Just 2 Call by the Grave, triple Invocation, and triple Meltdown. You just need more ways to be able to get access to your Invocation. Triple Mind Control because you're going second. Desires, again, it doesn't really matter if you banish too much of the stuff. And then you can play Hornet Drones, Terraforming, and the 1 World Legacy Secret for when you get to do the fun World Legacy shenanigans. For the extra deck, obviously the 1 Mega Fleet to go with the Cyber Dragons, and then the typical Invoked lineup of double Macabre, 1 Purga Trio. Nothing extra special here apart from that. There is a 1 Violet Chimera in, and this is due to the side deck. There's 1 Invoker of Madness, we've got the usual Boral package, the usual Nightmares, 1 Link Spider for your Sky Blaster plays, the Morningstar, and a Spectral Supreme, really what you should expect from a Mech Knight build. If you're not playing these, absolutely put those in. A Sayuja, and 1 Kagari, because that means that your 1 Hornet Drones instantly gives you access to the Invoker of Madness. For the side deck, triple Lancia, making your potential hand trap lineup go up to 9, plus the Phantasmes, of course. Triple Pankratops because it's stable going second card. And interestingly, 2 Fusion of Fire and 1 Super Poly in here, which does make the Salamangreat matchup a lot easier, and obviously that's a very popular deck at the moment, so it's a good option to have. Triple Hatronade and triple Evenly Matched, no Twin Twisters in here. Just looking to remove face down back row that can be triggered and get it out of the way. You don't tend to lose to Floodgates so much with this particular kind of deck because there's so much variation in the different monster types. Okay, so onto the rounds then. So we can see here strong matchups versus DDD apparently in the still deck. Orca Zombie Danger, definitely the kind of thing that you'd expect to be a problem, but he says that Damage Step Alistair in Time gives you access to free wins essentially. Thunder Dragons, a 2-0 here, OTKing through the opponent in both games. This deck has a really strong OTK potential. It made it so good against previous Pendulum decks, so potentially something to look out for in the future. Then he went up against Tom Rose, playing 60 card Orcus, went 1-2 here because he wasn't able to play through multiple Fog Blades in Game 3, pretty understandable. Pendulum 2-0 in round 6, Pendulum 2-0 in round 5 and 6. Again, as I said earlier, the kind of thing that you would expect this deck to do. And round 7 in the worst matchup against Striker, going 1-1. Managed to win Game 2 because of Higher Life. Not the kind of thing you would expect of a deck going against Striker, to be honest. Then looking at the siding strategy, so I don't believe there are any changes going first, nope. And then we've got these in order of the rounds that you played, so I'm going to have to flip back between these two. So round 1 against DDD, obviously no changes. For round 2 against the Orca Zombie Danger, he was siding in Lanciers Evenlies for going second, taking out Sky Blasters and Cyber Dragons obviously for going first. Pretty good options to take out, to be honest. Round number 3 against the Thunder Dragons, the Lanciers coming in very strong, and the Evenlies too, taking out the Cyber Dragons. Blue Sky, 1 Blast and 1 Invocation. It's pretty standard. It gives you access to additional Floodgates in order to just be able to sacrifice the occasional, perhaps if you get hand traps, then you won't be able to add your invocation, but you shouldn't expect hand traps in this matchup anyway, especially not if they're going first. Then round number 4, against the 60 card Orca, Lancing is coming in and Cyber Dragon's going out. For going second, I mean, it does stop them from making the bigger boards, so it's probably the right move to make, because otherwise they do have the Fog Blades to just stop your plays beyond there anyway. And then round number 5, so for Pendulum, Evenly and Pancratops coming in, great ways to bait their cards if nothing else, and then Cyber Dragons and Sky Blaster going out, so the same for round 6. And finally, against Sky Striker in round 7, going second, Evenly, Pancratops and Hatred coming in. Great removal for back row, just mass removal from single cards is really nice. But that does mean you have to take out 9 cards, so Sky Blasters, the Secret, the Blue Sky, the Call By, the Drones, and the Mind Control all having to come out. That's quite a spread, to be honest. It leaves you with the majority of your core engine, and it means that you can keep the Cyber Dragons in order to counter those Link monsters. So the additional information from him, he said it was a really fun event. He hasn't played Yu-Gi-Oh! Much over the last year, so it's great to be able to come back to this. He decided to play this deck because he was trying to get back into the game and wanted to play something that looked pretty fun. The easiest matchup, he said, was the Thunder Dragon deck because it was just the quickest. The hardest was the Jake Quincy Striker matchup because it's really hard to beat it after turn 3. The unusual parts of this deck compared to the sort of typical ones, if you can say that there is a typical Invoked Mech Knight deck in this day and age, he said that he's playing a lot of going second cards, no engage, because it's really underwhelming. As a result, there weren't a lot of changes to the deck and nobody really knew how to beat it. As for changes that he'd make in the future, obviously he has to cut the Sky Blaster to 1, and he'd probably just play less cards overall. Most influential sets, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff from this, so you can't really say there's any particular sets that overrides everything else unless you want to go for the Alistair route. But he's interested to see the deck getting sort of random good support from lots of different sets in the future to see what happens. And shoutouts go to Sam Goyne for telling him to play the deck and Alex Everson for telling him that he is bad. As additional comments, he says that people have really slept on this deck. And they keep asking him how he breaks a big board, and he says, how do you make a big board? With so many hand traps, people complain that he opens the nuts, but half the deck is just designed to break and stun decks anyway. So ultimately it's just sort of a design, it's all designed within this list. So thanks very much for watching this video, and congratulations on getting top with this Invoked Mech Knight list to Matt, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of you in the future, and good luck in future events. Thanks for watching this episode of Top Deck. If you have any comments or suggestions that you would like to make, leave them in the comment section down below. Check out the description for details of how you can get involved in this series. You can enter by voice interview, or instead you could just send all of your information over Facebook Messenger. Anything like that will be absolutely fine. If you want to see anything in particular from the upcoming series, then be sure to get in touch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.